the start of the offseason here was Brad Stevens coming out of the gate, moving Kemba Walker in a first round pick for Al Horford to kind of set up that flexibility you just talked about, Rich, of being able to have options around Jalen and Jason going forward for this team. We heard from Tatum for the first time talk about all these changes yesterday, and essentially, it was a magical actually press conference moment. A reporter, Rich, asked Tatum about everything at the same time. Like, we're just thinking Danny, Brad moving up, Udoka getting hired, and Kemba trade. And Tatum,
were you a part of that? Were you
guys? Yeah, it was a big
that?
scrum. Yeah, it was a Zoom, and then Tatum
cool.
proceeded to answer all of it in like 4 sentences. So that was really forthcoming. But no, but he had an interesting line of saying change can be good sometimes, and obviously was bummed out for his buddy Kemba. But the writing was on the wall there. So I guess my only question about this move from your standpoint, are you happy to see it happened so quickly out of the gate, or would you have liked to see, again, if you're not going to, Kemba didn't have a trade market, if you will, but there was,
could have, it looks like he might get flipped.
Right, exactly. Well, if the Thunder flip him and get some, I mean, they're going to have to.
Dude, if Presti is able to get a first round pick for taking Kemba and get a first round pick for getting rid of Kemba.
Right.
I mean, clearly he's already established himself as the king of the first round pick,
right.
But that is next level. And I don't know if that would just be a matter of, I mean, I guess the Celtics didn't want Kuzma. That it's just a matter of who you're dealing with. Or did they want Kuzma?
Well, I mean, they clearly, I think they looked around at the options that they had and say, hey, we can do 2 things here. We can be patient, and maybe some other team comes knocking where we don't have to give up the number 16 overall pick. We give up a future first with him, and that hurts a little bit less. But that's a gamble especially when you want to have the flexibility to maneuver in the future. And then on top of that, you're like, okay, we also get Al back. So if we think Al makes Tatum and Brown happy to a degree, who knows how long he's going to be here, but that maybe softens the blow in the meantime. Like, I don't know. That's the way I'm looking at it now. As the trade market rumbling start around Kemba, he's clearly going to go somewhere if he's not bought out. But it's the question is, how long is it going to take, and whether the Celtics pulled the trigger too quickly, I guess.
Well, to answer your question, I'm happy with when it happened. I just think that, first of all, we spent, and not just us, I think most of the people who talk about the Celtics and talk about the NBA saying there's no who's going to take Kemba. There's no it's an untradeable contract. No one they're going to be stuck with Kemba. So clearly that is not the case. So you got rid of Kemba, which was, regardless of how you did it, like you say, creating that flexibility. If we're talking about actually what it's going to take the window with the Jays and turn them into a contender again, getting rid of Kemba was 1A. It was 1. There wasn't even a 1B. 1A, 1B, 1C. Get rid of Kemba. Find someone to take Kemba. They did that, and I like the fact that Brad Stevens could do that quickly, and then just work with that reality, as opposed to having to juggle and say, okay, maybe having all these different versions of what the future is going to look like. Okay, what are we going to do if someone won't take him? What are we going to do if we get this for him? What are we going to do if we get that for him? So they figured it out. You have a few more pieces in place, and Brad is, again, understandably, you would think, a little bit overwhelmed just with all the responsibilities that he has right now. In terms of, again, he still hasn't even set their front office. He doesn't. They don't have that hierarchy built. We don't know if they're going to hire someone else. We don't know if they're going to get rid of everyone that's been working under Danny for the last few years. That's all still up in the air. So I think by ridding the team of Kemba's contract and the state of his knee and all that, doing it fast, it just, I think, will simplify a little bit of what we're going to see moving forward. I think that's big. Even if maybe you could get, if you wait a little bit, you could have got a slightly better deal or a slightly better player. I don't necessarily think they did the Horford deal because it would make the Jays happy.
No,
I don't think that was.
No, it was money motivated.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm cool with doing it now.
Hi guys, Cedric Maxwell here. I want to take a minute to tell you about Marigold Medical. I'm used to keeping my body in great shape, but with arthritis, even the most simple everyday tasks became unbearable. As soon as I called Marigold Medical, I knew I was in good hands. No drugs, no surgery, just an experienced team of caring professionals that wanted to get me back to doing the things I love. Make the call to Marigold Medical and get back to pain-free life.